Hello, I am Undead Matt, and I've once again risen from the grave on All Hallows Eve to give you another worst to best of a massive horror franchise. I'm coming to you this evening from my found footage special camera in honor of our subject. Yes, you know who I'm talking about, because you probably saw the title of the video. But yes, we're talking about the found footage bonanza known as Paranormal Activity. Let's see what my boy Toby gets into. Number 6. Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones.
Okay, so this one I might be a little unfair because I'm judging it based on what it isn't instead of what it is, but hey, it's my list, so whatever. So Paranormal Activity, The Marked Ones is fine, I guess, but it doesn't do anything new with the format. As you'll see coming up in the list, everything else in this franchise did something new with the found footage format and also gave a good reason why they are actually recording stuff. This one kind of misses the whole point of that and doesn't do anything new with the format. They tried to bring in a GoPro, but only like for a couple scenes and didn't really do anything with it. And so it kind of didn't make this movie very interesting at all. And then add on top of that, the through line through this one is kind of lame. There is a weird twist at the end, which sort of helps, I guess, but overall this one's kind of meh. And it didn't really blow me away at all. It's just sort of meh.
Number 5. Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension.
So apparently I missed this one. I swear I saw all the Paranormal Activity movies, but when I watched this one, I did not see it at all. So the change that they did in this one is they tried to bring in 3 dimensions. This one was touted at the time that it came out being 3D, because, you know, that always helps a movie franchise, putting it in 3D. But I think tying this one to the third movie a lot helped it out, and I think it did try to do some cool things, but what this one's missing is the subtlety of all the other ones. All the other Paranormal Activities had scenes of like something happening quiet in the background, just like one thing moving or some dust settling weird or just some minor little bits and pieces. This one got rid of all that, and they're like immediately like turn on the camera and like, oh, you see kind of some dust and some like weird lens effects, which you're like, oh, okay. But then they turn and you're like, oh, it's a new dimension. Like what? Like all the subtlety is just completely gone, and it just ends up being, you know, kind of lame for it, and it hurts it. I just give it some minor credit for trying to do some new stuff with the camera and for bringing in, you know, some more outside aspect of this continuing story. But yeah, it's not that great.
He'll do. Here I am. He'll do.
What are you doing in here?
Number 4. Paranormal Activity 2.
So trying to follow up the surprise success of the first Paranormal Activity, Paranormal Activity 2 tries to do some things. I specifically like what they did using the security cameras to help film everything, so it's less asking why are they still holding a camera and doing things like that, which was helpful. But overall, the through line and the storyline of this one was probably the weakest, even weaker than the other two, but there's some scenes that really helped this one out to boosted up this list a bit. But really, this is the most just stuff happening out of this entire franchise, and that's one of the things this franchise gets a lot of crap for, is there's not a lot happening, and it's just, you know, people being people, and then a scary thing will finally happen. And they probably saw Paranormal Activity 2 to see that. This one is a whole lot of just nothing happening, until something finally happens. But there's not a lot of Easter eggs or anything you can find in it. It's pretty generic and pretty bland, and the overall story arch just really doesn't do anything. It doesn't really take off until way late into the movie.
Number 3, Paranormal Activity 4.
So I think this one had the strongest twist out of all of them. I won't totally give it away, but yeah, the very big surprise ending really helped this one. Bringing in doing live FaceTimes was really interesting to put in the camera modes, and also giving it an excuse to why they're still filming this, all these going on. So that was pretty awesome, and I enjoyed that, and I liked a lot of the characters. The two main leads in this one were a lot of fun, and just seeing this mystery evolve into like, who's this weird kid that keeps coming over, and what's this all about, and then having these little weird things kind of constantly happen, and seeing the change in the younger son. It's got some really cool stuff with a really strong twist at the end, and yeah, I really enjoy this one.
Number 2, Paranormal Activity.
So yeah, this has almost become a new classic. The first Paranormal Activity, if you watch the trailer, which you're probably seeing on screen now, it didn't even show much of the movie. It was like fan reactions to the movie. It was like the first reaction-heavy video ever made, was the trailer for this one. And yeah, because showing the trailer of this, you just wouldn't get it. It was just just people filming their lives, and then all of a sudden spooky things happening. But all the little nougats and Easter eggs, and like all the little things they do as Toby becomes stronger and crazier throughout this movie, makes it so cool and so interesting. And it really is like one of the pinnacles of found footage movies, and I really enjoy it. It's very scary, and it does a lot of stuff really right. It does lose a lot of points because Micah sucks, and I don't like him at all, but everything else in this was fantastic, and I really enjoy it still.
You do try to play games with it, that's inviting it in.
Number 1, Paranormal Activity 3.
And yep, the number one, I think everyone's favorite Paranormal Activity, Paranormal Activity 3, or as most people call it, the one in the 80s. This one was the coolest. They did the most with the camera tricks. They did the most with the creepy angles. They did the most with weird ghost effects, and like Toby lifting the girl up by her hair, and the stuff with the camera on the oscillating fan base. All that really awesome stuff is in this one, and it's so good, and it builds on the franchise and what happened in the first two movies, and fills in some gaps of the story, and does some really awesome stuff. This one is absolutely amazing. I went into it with high hopes upon rewatch for this video, and I was not disappointed. It is still really, really good and highly suggested.
Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. I'm scared. Stop! I'm sorry. It's not funny.
So that was my worst to best Paranormal Activity. You know, I met Toby once in the underworld. He's a lot shorter than you expected him to be. Of course, this wouldn't be a good found footage video unless something startling happens at the end, and then the camera can stare off to the void, leaving you to wonder what happened. But I'm not gonna do that. So, that's probably the end. Nothing's gonna happen.